What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Watchlist breakdown, and I will show you how you could have played the things that were signaled. So we had a few things signaled today. We'll start with BBY, Best Buy. Now, this was the very juicy fail 2 that we were looking at. Instead of looking at it on the 30-minute like we would find price target, let's go ahead and zoom into the 5 minutes so we can see what it would have been like with the initial break, which happened early this morning, right over here. And it looks like it actually broke here, right here. It didn't break before that. So here was the initial break. As you can see, pretty much immediately after breaking it, within 3 5-minute candles, it went down to PT1. It did end up testing this trend right here, bouncing off of that, going right back up and hitting the top band of the VWAP. This is an opportunity that you could have tried to get some more puts and play it again. And again, it went right back down to PT1. It wasn't until after this that it went right back up again to the top band of the VWAP, which again is coinciding with where entry is as well. This could have been another opportunity once it breaks to get puts, staying beneath the upper band, being beneath entry. And then lo and behold, this thing went on a little bit past, finally broke the trend line, and coming up to test the top of here, and then it hit PT2. Do I think you would have been able to take this all the way to PT2 like super easily? No, I don't think so. I think that this roller coaster movement in here, if you were staying in your contracts, would have eaten you alive. You need to be selling at price targets and scaling out of the play, scaling out when you're in profit completely before it goes negative, and then re-entering the play when it gives you the opportunity to re-enter. So that is PFE, or excuse me, that's BBY. I'm so sorry. PFE is another one that we'll look at. This one hit today as well, started up here, broke down. Let's go ahead and check out what this looks like on the 5-minute as well. And typically I like to look at things on the 5-minute because when the morning starts off, that's what I'm looking at. If I'm in the play, right, I'm looking at the 5-minute, I'm looking at levels in the 5-minute. I'm making sure that we don't cross any highs or anything like that that would make me worried. So with that being said, moving on to PFE, this bad boy just got so choppy at entry. It's tough. It's tough. So what I would have done is I would have looked for where the wall is previously, making sure that we don't go above that. And where would that be? Well, it's right here where these ones are. All right, and I'm going to mark this here so you can see how it's a wall to the downside here, and then it's a wall to the upside. So, this might, depending on the contracts that you got, it might have been a larger percentage, but more than likely they were cheaper contracts, so that a larger percentage doesn't always equate to a larger dollar amount. So large percent does not always equate to large dollar amount when you're dealing with really inexpensive contracts. So with that being said, if you were comfortable, you could have possibly stayed in this play, being as that it didn't hit this wall yet. Yes, it did get this was worrisome for a little bit, but then after it finally did break, we went straight down to the price target. And once we hit that price target, you can see we stayed beneath the bottom band, which is an indication to hold on to your runners. Because if we go above that, then hey, maybe the volume is coming into the upside, but we're staying beneath it, which means volume is staying to the downside. And you could have written that all the way to PT2, where it then hit, stopped, and then broke above. And that would have been the spot where it's like, ooh, maybe I need to get out of the play, or an opportunity to get back in it because it's sort of rejecting the actual VWAP itself here, which could be an opportunity to get some more puts and see if we can come test out lows of the day again. And then sure enough, after a little choppiness, but we are staying beneath price target, which would make me feel very comfortable in holding on to the play because we're staying beneath a level that we need to stay beneath. We then end up breaking the low of the day, coming down and taking out another price target, which again, you should be scaling out of your play. You're not holding your entire position, but scaling out, taking chunks of your money along the way in profit. And then when this thing starts going back up, what do you notice? We don't cross the lower band, and then we end up going even lower to the lows of the day, getting so close to the final, or excuse me, to the fourth price target. I think you got 1 penny away. Let's take a look. Daddy. Yeah, literally got 1 penny away from the final price target. And then that's the moment that you would, either want to be completely out of the play and or scaling out even more, stops in profit. Once we're getting above this VWAP again, maybe it's time to just get out of the play, because after that, we didn't end up just zooming to the upside. So that is PFE and how you could have played that. Next one that we will look at is Uber. Uber, I loved Uber's setup for today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 5-minute and how you could have gotten into it. Now, I will be honest, the spreads on Uber were a little harsh in the morning. They were a little harsh. So if you took this play, I hope that you did the limit trick, right? Where you bring it down from your original price to the median level. And then when you're going to sell it, you raise it up a little bit. Right in here, we had the first break right at 8:30. It did just wick this and bounce right off of it. Now, again, in moments like this, I would do exactly what I did with the other one, where it's like, let me just find the nearest wall, right? Which is here. You can see here, we have a big wall right here. This would be the area that I'm like, okay, if we get above this, I'm cutting my play. Granted, and again, you should have like a percentage stop loss, but this is if it doesn't hit that percent. Like, let's say my percentage stop loss was 20%, and from here to here is 8%. Well, I'd rather take an 8% loss than letting it keep going past a level that I just saw broke. And sorry about that. I would much rather lose 8% by watching it break a level than lose 20% by just being stubborn, seeing it break my level, and then going, well, maybe it'll reverse, but no, right? So this is what I mean. Obviously, if your percentage gets stops out beforehand, that's fine. Re-enter the play when it's time to re-enter. But if your stop loss is above key levels like this and those key levels are breaking, just get out of the play. So here's where that level is. We do not break it. We don't break it. And in fact, we gave a 3-1 failed 2, which is a 3-1-2-2 reversal. My favorite play ever out of everything in the strat. And then it not only breaks entry, but then breaks entry, zooms past its PT1, PT2 for that actionable signal, which coincides with breaking the daily entry all over again, taking out PT1, taking out PT2, taking out PT3 with the quickness after that. So you would have had to be a little patient for this one, but I guarantee that you would have made some nice money if you were, and you would have adjusted your limits the correct way. Again, scaling out around PT2, PT3, or excuse me, PT1, PT2, and PT3 is the move, right? It's not about holding on to all of your contracts until the final PT. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way. Sometimes the algorithms that we were looking at from the day before are the strong ones that play out, right? They don't always reach the bottom. Sometimes these guys start defending it even more. And that's what happens and why you want to be scaling out along the way. So this could have been a very easy play. Would I have played it again? Probably not, to be honest. As soon as this thing just breaks down and takes out 3 price targets in about a 10-15 minute time, I'm good for the day on that. I'm going to move on to another play. I'm going to go play with my daughter. I'm going to go do whatever else I got to do with the actual day instead of trying to be caught in some choppiness. So that is Uber. And then the final one that we'll go over is Roblox. This is the other one that was signaled today to hit. Beautiful setup, did its thing, taking out almost 3 price targets. Let's go ahead and zoom into the 5-minute chart right now. All right. So as you can see, pretty much right in the morning, this thing broke entry right away and then immediately rejected it. So if you had done the same thing where you are looking for the nearest wall, right, and making sure like, hey, I want to make sure that that doesn't break, right? You could have done something around here. We can see these two right here. I probably wouldn't have put it as high up as here or as high up as here. I probably would have put it right here, to be honest. Right there is the wall that I would have put. And as you can see, we started the day, we came down, activated the play, immediately ran away from it, and you should have cut the play. There's not a person that I suggest should have been holding on to this. You're going back above the VWAP, you're going into above the opening. There's so many things. You're breaking the wall, the levels here. There's so many reasons to cut the play if you had gotten into it. Now, with that being said, majority of people probably would not have gotten into this. Why? Well, whenever you're going to buy your order, you should be looking at the chart itself. You never want to buy your order when it's on the wrong side of the level. And with this tiny wick right here, there's no way it spent maybe a few seconds underneath it. I doubt it was even a few seconds. It's today the 13th or 14th. Today's the 14th. So it started here, and look at this. This is where it broke entry right here. This is where it broke entry. Within the time that it took to drop 2 pennies and go back up, it didn't spend a minute down here. It spent seconds down here, maybe 1 or 2 seconds. It went ding, ooh, and right back above it. Probably this fast. Probably went this fast. That fast, right? And when it's on the wrong side, you should not be buying your order. You only want to buy your order when it's on the right side, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense and why you would have not gotten into it right when it crossed entry, because by the time that you're hitting confirm and send, it's no longer on the right side of entry. And if it's not on the right side of entry, I'm not going to follow through with my order. I will wait. I'll be patient. I'll have my order ready to go, and I'll be waiting for it to be on the correct side of entry. Once it's on the correct side of entry, I will finalize my order. And that does not happen until here. We're going to leave the 1 minute chart. We're going to go back to the 5. So after it broke here, went all the way up, came shooting back down, re-breaking the trend, breaking past entry. If it's holding past entry while you're getting ready to buy your order, then follows through, takes out PT1, gets to PT2, and immediately bounces off of it. Immediately bounces off of it. This is why you want to be scaling out along the way. It hit PT2 to the penny and then said, see ya. Then came back, tested entry again, failed to go back above entry, failed to stay beneath PT2 until finally it decided, okay, we're done for the day here. And then it bounced between these algorithms for the rest of the day. Now, you don't really want to be caught in this choppiness. I'm a firm believer of that when things just plow through like this and you start taking out multiple price targets with the quickness, I'm good. I'll come back the next day. I'll look for the next play. So there's not really a reason to play this over and over again. But what could you have done? Well, you could have used the VWAP middle band here. And every time that we bounced off of that and started rejecting it, could have gotten some more puts and like wrote it out to the bottom band, which as you can see, we bounced between these areas the whole rest of the day. So we like being beneath it and holding our puts. We didn't really stay beneath it, but we do get rejections off of the VWAP here, which is a clear indicator that you could be grabbing some puts, and the bottom band would be your price target for that particular move. So that's how you could have played those plays today from the watch list on the things that signaled out. I hope that, I saw some of y'all definitely made some great money today on things. Other things hit as well that were weeklies. However, I'm going to save the weeklies for the end of the week because they're still playing out. So, for example, AMD took out took out one price target originally, and today it took out 2, 3, 4 price targets. Took out 4 price targets today. So, but we will go over that on Friday. Much love. God bless. Hope this finds you well. And remember that you're just one trade away from changing your life. So keep going. I'll see you soon.